when coach Carlo Ancelotti read aloud the list of players who made the cut to Brazil's World Cup squad, one name earned the loudest cheers. Neymar Jr. After months of sweating over his fitness, the 34-year-old forward breathed a sigh of relief as he earned a place in Brazil's 26-man squad for the tournament in North America, which begins on June 11.
A car bomb explosion near a Syrian Defense Ministry building in Damascus has killed at least more than 20 people, authorities say. In a statement carried by state media on Tuesday, the ministry said members of an army unit had discovered an improvised explosive device planted near the site in the Bab Sharki district of the capital. As they moved to defuse it, a car bomb exploded in the same area, it added, without offering more details.
Philippine authorities are investigating Senate security officers who discharged their weapons without provocation, while a senator facing an international criminal court, ICC arrest warrant, took shelter inside the legislative building and later escaped. Juanito Victor Remulla, Secretary of the Interior and Local Government, on Tuesday said the May 13 shooting was not an attack on the Senate, adding that there was no one in the area when the gun was fired.
A court in Pakistan has sentenced Umar Hayat, 23, to death for murdering a 17-year-old TikTok and Instagram influencer whose killing last year had reignited a debate about women's safety. Tuesday's verdict is a lesson for all such criminals in society. Hassan Yousaf, the father of Sana Yousaf, who was shot dead at her home on June 2nd last year.
Hackers have compromised several popular open source projects relied on by software developers all over the world in an ongoing cyber attack. On Tuesday, cybersecurity firms Step Security and SafeDep warned of the latest wave of so-called supply chain attacks, which aim to compromise developers of popular open source projects and use that access to plant malicious updates that are pushed to users downstream. If you were looking for a sign to try out a dumb phone, here it is. The trendy minimalist light phone is joining forces with Noble Mobile, a phone network founded by entrepreneur and politician Andrew Yang that gives you money back if you use less data. On Tuesday, 500 Light Phone 3 models will be in stock and ready to ship through Noble Mobile. The catch is that you have to sign up for a 2-year Noble Mobile phone plan at $50 per month, which comes out to $1,200 for the contract. Andre Karpathy, the AI researcher who co-founded and formerly worked at OpenAI and PrivatAI at Tesla, has joined Anthropic. I've joined Anthropic. Karpathy posted on X Tuesday. I think the next few years at the frontier of LLMs will be especially formative. I am very excited to join the team here and get back to R&D.
The Pakistan Telecommunication Authority, PTA, has directed all cellular mobile operators, CMOs, to suspend the sale of SIM cards across the country between 12:00 a.m. and 6:00 a.m. According to the directive, all authorised SIM sale channels, including franchises and retail outlets, must strictly adhere to the prescribed timings.
Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif on Tuesday underscored Pakistan's strides as a net regional stabiliser, contributing to peace and stability in the region and beyond, according to the Prime Minister's office, PMO. The Prime Minister made the remarks during his address to faculty members and student officers at the Command and Staff College in Quetta on Tuesday.
Hyderabad. Adilpur police registered a first information report of the alleged gang rape of a teenage girl in Sindh's Gotki district on Tuesday, more than 2 weeks after the incident was said to have taken place. The FIR, a copy of which is available with Dawn, was registered against 5 suspects on the complaint of the girl's father under Section 376(2) of the Pakistan Penal Code.
Satellite images have revealed the scale of 2 wildfires spreading in Southern California. The Sandy Fire ignited on Monday morning in the city of Simi Valley, northwest of Los Angeles, according to California Governor Gavin Newsom. Far-right Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich said on Tuesday that the International Criminal Court's prosecutor is seeking a warrant for his arrest in what he called a declaration of war. In a speech delivered from his office in Jerusalem, Smotrich did not say why the court is seeking a warrant, but he suggested it's because of the massive expansion of Israeli settlements in the occupied West Bank that he has pushed. Israel and Argentina have launched a direct flight starting in November as the two countries boost their ties under Argentina's far-right President Javier Milei and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The twice-a-week flight comes as Israel is aggressively pushing to cement its geopolitical footprint in Latin America amid its growing international isolation and its entrenched image as an occupying power.
US cybersecurity agency CISA may have escaped a sizable security breach thanks to a good-faith security researcher who identified publicly exposed credentials that allowed access to government cloud and internal agency systems. As first reported by independent security reporter Brian Krebs, Guardian security researcher Guillaume Valadon found reams of exposed plaintext credentials listed in spreadsheets, which had been made publicly accessible in a GitHub repository by an employee working for a CISA contractor. LG has introduced a new UltraGear gaming monitor that claims the world's first full HD monitor with a native 1000 Hz refresh rate. The monitor has a 1920 by 1:80 resolution and is designed for fast-paced first-person shooter games, where accurate aiming and quick reaction times matter most.
Government primary school in Chiniot has come under scrutiny after reports emerged that classroom fans were allegedly switched off to save on electricity costs, forcing students to study in severe heat. The incident was reported from government primary school in Chak 131 Lonawala, where students were allegedly made to sit through classes without fans despite the rising temperatures.
Pakistan's Ministry of National Health Services, Regulations and Coordination has made HIV and hepatitis B and C screening mandatory before all surgical and invasive medical procedures across the country. The ministry issued directives for the immediate implementation of infection prevention and control measures to help curb the spread of HIV and hepatitis infections. Thailand has approved a plan to reduce the length of visa-free stays for tourists from more than 90 countries as part of efforts to curb crimes involving foreign nationals. The decision was approved by the country's cabinet on Tuesday, Tourism Minister Surasak Phangcharoenwarakul told reporters in Bangkok. Apple has confirmed that its annual Worldwide Developers Conference, WDC, will begin on June 8. The company has also started inviting members of the press to the event, according to 9 to 5 Mac. This year's WDC tagline is "Coming Bright Up."
Islamabad. Capitol Police on Tuesday stopped Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Chief Minister Sohail Afridi from reaching Adiala jail in Rawalpindi to meet incarcerated PTI founder Imran Khan. Imran, imprisoned since Aug 5, 2023, for concealing details of Tosha Khana gifts, is serving a 14-year sentence at Rawalpindi's Adiala jail in a $190 million corruption case, also known as the Al-Qadir Trust case. Islamabad. The Federal Investigation Agency, FIA, Karachi zone on Tuesday suspended 2 officers and registered a case against a private individual over a recent raid on a jewellery shop in the metropolis's Sarafa Bazaar. The development came days after FIA Director General Dr. Rusman Anwar took notice of the incident and demanded a full inquiry, with the report to be submitted within 48 hours.
Islamabad. Pakistan and the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, AIIB, on Tuesday signed a $320 million loan agreement for the reconstruction and improvement of critical sections of the N5 highway, the country's longest national highway from Karachi to Torkham near the Afghan border. The loan agreement was signed for reconstruction of National Highway N5 under Pakistan's Resilient Recovery, Rehabilitation and Reconstruction Framework project, amounting to 320.16 million Ts.
A security guard at the Islamic Center in San Diego, California, has been hailed as a hero after he was killed while trying to prevent suspected shooters from entering the mosque complex in an attack police are investigating as a hate crime. At least 3 people were killed after 2 teenage attackers opened fire at the San Diego mosque on Monday. Authorities have yet to publicly identify the victims, but community leaders have named the guard as Amin Abdullah.
Cristiano Ronaldo will embark on a 6th World Cup at the age of 41 after Portugal coach Roberto Martinez named him in a 27-man squad for the tournament, with a symbolic +1 in memory of the late Diogo Jota. Speaking at Cidade do Futebol before a packed auditorium on Tuesday, Martinez confirmed that 4th-choice goalkeeper Ricardo Vello of Gençlerbirliği Ankara will travel with the squad, but can only be added to the official 26-man list in the event of an injury to one of the 3 registered keepers. Ecuadorians say civilians are being abducted off the streets as part of a military crackdown on drug cartels. President Daniel Noboa deployed Ecuador's military to combat gangs after declaring an internal armed conflict in 2024. A new film from Al Jazeera's Fault Lines hears from the family members of those who have been taken and human rights groups about the growing calls for justice. In this episode,
the United States has announced another 30-day extension of a sanctions waiver for countries buying Russian oil and petroleum products currently already loaded on tankers at sea, as global energy markets have been roiled by the US-Israel war on Iran. In a post on X on Monday, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced that the US would issue the extension to provide the most vulnerable nations with the ability to temporarily access Russian oil currently stranded at sea. It will last until June 17. New Delhi, India. When Argentina's Gonzalo Montiel converted a penalty to seal his country's 3rd FIFA 22 in Qatar, Lionel Messi fan Vishwas Banerjee celebrated the Albicelestes' triumph with abandon in Bangalore, a football-crazy city in southeastern India. Unable to hold back his shirt away as he screamed the match on a big screen as he watched the Mastroudi at a street crossing close to midnight. Like many young people of her generation, Faina was what she called a chronically online teenager. She obsessed over music groups, TV shows and movies, and never missed the chance to talk about her interests endlessly online. When ChatGPT launched in 2022, she saw potential immediately. AI could finally let any user actually simulate any character, not just watch or talk about their favorite worlds, but live inside them, she told TechCrunch. The roleplay and immersion that fans had always wanted was suddenly possible at scale, she said. She brought in her friend Amit Bhatnagar, who grew up building Minecraft games, and Pritesh Kadiwala, and the 3 of them began building Status AI, a gamified social media app where users can play any character in any universe. The app officially came out of stealth last year.
On Survivor 48, Kyle Fraser's alliance with castmate Camilla Karthigesu helped drive him to victory. Now the pair is teaming up in a new space, hoping for a similar outcome. They're starting a business together. On Tuesday, the new co-founders are introducing PapClip, a goal-focused social accountability app that they hope will become a more meaningful form of social media, inspired by their experiences in the game, post-game, and by positive psychology principles. PapClip's idea is to bring people together to tackle their personal goals, whether that's a health and wellness goal or something else entirely. Ahead of Google's annual developer conference on Tuesday, Apple announced several new accessibility updates powered by Apple Intelligence to features like voiceover, voice control, live recognition, and real-time caption generation for videos. The company also said that Vision Pro users will be able to control a compatible wheelchair with their eyes using this update. The company said that Apple Intelligence's image recognition feature in VoiceOver will understand the image better and describe it in greater detail. For instance, it can look at a bill and read out the details such as the amount and due date. Apple said that the updated feature can also better describe photographs and personal records.